estate.
Hello everybody, this is EllyBob1 here. Have to keep my voice down a wee bit because it's about 11 right now. And most of my family's sleeping. I've just noticed that my Ask FM page has well, it's been loaded up. There's quite a few questions on there to answer. And I thought rather than go through the tiring process of writing down my answer for each one individually, I thought I'd answer them all in this video, at least the current flock that I've got. So, any of the questions that I haven't answered that many of you probably sent to me are going to be answered in this video. So let's get to the first, the first one, which is from Dragon Roberts. It's wrestlers you wish you put a title on when you had the chance looking back. First one comes to my mind really is Optimus Prime. I probably could have given him a run with the international title or even the world title. I think I probably could have utilised him better. I wish I'd given Yoshi a bit of a bigger run with a title. There was at one point where I was thinking about making him a world champion, but that never ended up going through. I guess the obvious one is 19 Shades, aka Harry Rupert, aka G-Van's brother. I think in CXWI he could have had a world title run, and it would have been a convincing one too. Is there anyone else? I guess Fox or Falco. I think maybe having them in CXWI at the same time would have been better than having them both in separately. That's about all I can think of at this present moment. Next is from Abby Furio. I try and pronounce that correctly. Names you're considering for the mini CPV. This goes into what we're going to be doing between Worlds Apart and the next main CPV that we're going to do. I haven't actually considered any names yet. There's still a few ideas floating in the air. Of course, it's not just going to be a focus on the tag team, there's also another thing that we're going to do for that. But we'll get into that later. I don't want to spoil it now. Yeah, that's about all I can say for that one. Gary Com is the next question here. It's wrestlers on the roster or in the EDO you feel can become great main eventers in the future. Lester Barkley, Blaziken, Gorilla Grodd, John Blackos. Had Alex Minazuki stayed, I think he would have been on there. Isaacov, I think, has got something in him. Other main roster people, Sonic and Tails, Sebulba. I know that Arbiter is already a main eventer pretty much, but I think bringing him back into that would also be good. I think there's still a lot that can be done with him. Austin Uaz is already a great main eventer, so I don't need to say anything about that. Zavok's a good one now. Is there anyone else who I think could be a great... There's a whole load of people I think could be great main eventers, but those are the names that popped to my head right now. That's about it. Okay, next is Project Needleham. Or Needham. I think there's a typo. Or whatever. Right, your thoughts on people saying Austin's current world title reign is boring? Well, obviously I disagree with that. I think Austin Yu has played a good role as a heel. I think the fact he's been a babyface so long has fueled this fire in him to be a heel in the company, and to really actually there's the old theory, hot potatoing a title devalues it, and Austin, I think having him have a good run with it would be pretty good. Of course, there may be a few, like, maybe a couple of little hoops, or little hills, should I say, that may come up in the future, or then maybe he falls out completely and doesn't get back in. I don't know. But yeah, I've heard some people say that not Triple H, that kind of spoils what I'm about to say, but Austin Newhouse's run as world champion has been a bit like the Reign of Terror. I don't agree with that at all. I think Austin Newhouse has played the role strong, but you know, Zavek, the main person in the rivalry right now, he's got very well over thanks to it, and it's not the case of him being over and then being shot down. Zavek has now pretty much been elevated to a top level, and I think he'll stay there. Just gonna quickly check if yep, that's working. Alright, so I don't think it has been boring. Trust me, if it were boring, I'd end it. Anthony Santana has the next one. Thoughts on Gators saying that not letting him, Dante, into CXWI is dumb, since you allowed SMCS to come back after he quit on you so many times and ruined your stories by walking out while he had titles on him. Next is from Gary Com again. Thoughts on Mewtwo becoming the CXWR? Moving on. Gary Con again. Should Mewtwo versus Austin be a champion versus champion unification match? CXWI World Champion versus CXWR World Champion. Next is from Dragon Roberts again. With Dante and Zach on your case about it when you has said the idea, do you think people realistically would skip 90% of a 2-hour Fatal 4-Way for being too long? Okay, I don't recall when Austin and I suggested the idea of a 2-hour long Fatal 4-Way, unless of course this is the tag team Fatal 4-Way things that I do, the team battle style, which normally go on for around an hour. That's sort of on the table right now. I don't know if that will go ahead. You know, in my previous video I mentioned about that, you know, I'd be more than willing to have a discussion with Dante. That's now pretty much out the window because of CXWR, Dante doing that. And also, that's only 33% of the reason he won't be in CXWI now. The other 66, or 67 I should say, is Zach. Dante needs to realise it's Zach that is the reason he's not going to be in CXWI. And I think the sooner he realises that, the better. Again, I don't recall ever making a point about a 2-hour Fatal 4-Way. I think a good majority of people would probably skip it. Would skip around 90% and just get to the conclusion. But again, it could depend. Okay, next one. Super Drake. I saw Mist say this. Would you agree that Austin versus Mewtwo honestly doesn't need the world title? It doesn't. It could have it. I don't think it's necessary to the rivalry. I think Austin and Mewtwo speaks for itself. Next, again, another one from Super Drake. Is Billy Bowers really siding with Dante? I asked RPM about his team and he told me this. I don't know if Billy Bowers has, but you know, he can choose to side with Dante if he wants. Ultimately, it would be his loss. I think Billy Bowers has got a lot of potential in CXWI, along with RPN. I think that Billy Bowers, this sounds a bit weird, I think of him as like the EDO's DDP. He's got so much in him, and I think it could be put to good use. So if Billy Bowers were to side with Dante, I'd be a little bit disappointed, but ultimately it's his decision. Abby Frio again. Wrestlers you feel should feel you never should have given the title to when you look back. So people I don't think should have been a champion. Not really any of them come to my head, to be honest with you. I think every person I've had hold a title has had a good reason to hold it. So I can't really think of any ones that didn't deserve to be champion. That's really the only thing I can think of for that one. Okay, next, another one from Gary Con. Thoughts on people wanting new stars made in CXWI instead of the same old guys like Mewtwo, Austin, Arbiter, etc. Well, as I mentioned earlier, I think Lester Barkley, Blaziken, Sebulba, Miss Montone, those kind of people, I think have got a heck of a lot of potential to be in that main event spot. So it may be possible that they're pushed up in the future. Like I've mentioned, we've already pushed Zavok up in a massive way. Zavok has had a huge push thanks to this program with Austin. Austin I don't think will leave the main event picture anytime soon. Mewtwo might. It will depend. Arbiter I think has also got a lot more in the main event in him, in regards to his character and what he's got right now. So I can understand that people are kind of bored with the same old guys, but you know, I don't think there's anything wrong with having these same old guys as long as you're pushing new talent at the same time. So hopefully that's what we're going to be doing in the future, a bit more pushing newer people. Next one, another one from Super Drake. Lately, Zach Gators has been calling you a one-trick pony because you book everything the same for years and got the same guys to top while keeping others in the same slots for years. Do you plan to prove him wrong? Do I really need to answer that question? Next is from Zach Gators himself. Well, if it ain't the one-trick pony booker, so I'm not even going to bother reading the rest of this one. Another one from Zach Gators. Also, how does it feel to know that Dante will sub? Not even going to bother. Okay, this one, Miss Montone now. If I lose at Worlds Apart, what is the likelihood that I'll actually get released from CXWI for being a failure? Missed. I don't think you need to worry about that missed. Win or lose at Worlds Apart, I think there's still a lot more that can be done with you. I mean, I think you really are actually, despite the incident at Hyperlink, I think there's still a lot more that you can give. So I don't think, even if you do lose, I think you'll stay around, because I think there's some big things I can do. Dragon Roberts again. Saw this from Mist's Ask. Thoughts on a lot of people not wanting Arbiter to go for the world title. Arguments I saw where people wanted CXWI to give a new star a chance. Okay, this once again goes on the news, I think, instead of Arbiter not being credible due to his loss to Dark Forge and alcohol problems. Yeah, that's understandable. I can understand people maybe not wanting to see Arbiter in that world title picture. There could be a whole load of other major storylines that he could be given. I think there probably would be a situation where I would, but it would depend on what happens around it. Next, it's another one from Zach Gators. A present to you, Elliot. Oh, I've seen this page already. It's a shitload. Okay, Gary Collins again. What do you think about Zach Gators running around and promoting these pages he's made? Zach is pathetic, to be honest with you. I actually can't believe I included his dream card in my Golden Ambitions Dream Cards video. He's not even... For fuck's sake. Zach, I'll just go on record and say this. You and Dante make me want to forgive Torrin. You make Torrin seem manageable. You make Torrin seem like nothing from the problems he's had in CAW in comparison to you and Dante. Honestly, the fact you're going to this level over CAW. Just grow the fuck up, Zach, seriously. Okay, Tommaso Capelli. Non-CAW related question. Are Rita Ora, Sky Ferreira, Zendaya and Shay Mitchell pregnant? Next question. Another one from Tommaso Capelli. Non-CAW related question again. Do you think Street Fighter X Dragon Ball and Mortal Kombat X Tekken will ever happen? Probably. Be an awesome amount of crossovers. I mean, could you imagine having Kuma the Bear against Reptile? Wait, I could probably do that on here. Possibility. Another one from Tommaso Capelli. These last ones are from Tommaso Capelli. Okay. Card for the eventual SMF versus TCWF, formerly known as TCCW event. No clue really. And then card for the eventual SCAW versus UFW. Again, I've got no clue really. Other than the dream, I don't really create dream cards myself. Mainly because I find it too difficult to do them. And then finally, okay, this is what name would you give to the Ask FM's Owlcat?
John C.